was the Corner Podcast. Myself, Brims.
Big D.
What's your real name, bruv?
Nah, Darius.
All right.
And Ken.
So yeah, obviously, we got different segments in the podcast, isn't it? This podcast segment is called the Topics Corner. Yeah, Topic Corner.
Yeah.
So what's the main topics of this week?
Like what's popping?
Yeah,
like,
what's popping
in the media and stuff like
Basically that, innit? So what's
that.
the
And underground stuff you might want to bring to light as well. Shed some light on certain
more
things.
time? So what's the main topic this week that we found out or that we think that needs to be touched upon?
Just talking about the whole, obviously football went back, innit, with the Black Lives Matter stuff, innit?
Yeah.
It's a big statement that obviously that the Premier League, probably arguably one of the biggest establishments in the world.
100%.
Well, compared
even
to,
supporting
when it comes
the
to what
Black
they,
Lives Matter
yeah.
movement.
When it comes to what they put into the economy, bro, it's huge. So you gotta think. Obviously, everything's linked to economy, economy, in my opinion.
Of course.
Obviously, to make a massive stand in that sort of way, and you know that the amount that you put into the economy, like, it's making a big statement, basically.
And a lot of people are watching as well.
100%.
Everyone's seeing that. Everyone's seeing people kneeling on the grass.
100%.
You get me? And it's a big statement.
Do you know what I noticed as well? Like, I was thinking about it the other day. Like, you got to think about World War II and things like that. You know, obviously when people do let's not forget. Or do the memorial to it. They never actually changed the players' names on the back to represent it. They only just do a poppy.
Oh yeah, you're right.
For this whole Black Lives Matter thing, they've even taken the players' names off the back
And put Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Oh, swear.
And I think to me that was a big thing.
Yeah.
And just thinking about obviously the bigger movement, obviously the Black Lives Matter movement going forward, I feel like change is actually really happening.
Do you know? That's what I was gonna say. I think it's like what happens is, right, you get all these like negative people that are like, oh, this has been happening, and you know, every time this happens, we'll all just put our little social media and then it'll go back to normal.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's the people who say, nah, I do feel like there's a difference this time.
Yeah,
and people are
100%.
literally putting effort. Like I'm on, I think we're on like 3 weeks later, and I'm seeing same post I was seeing after the tragedy happened.
which is good, man.
And I feel like there's a lot more real people like promoting this shit now. Like bigger stars, obviously, you know, real people in the media, like big famous people who never really would speak out in the way they're speaking out.
Do you feel like a lot of people are pressured to talk out? Because even corporations.
No, I think they are. And I think, do you know what? Before, again, I was of the opinion, where it's like, oh, unless it's coming from your own heart, I don't want it sort of thing. But you know what? I feel like the change is more important than how it happens. So for me now, it's like, regardless of whatever route is being taken, like whether you've been forced to put it out, but then you've changed the minds of people.
Yeah, because you got a different platform, innit?
Yeah, so let's say the person who runs the Premier League, let's say it was all run by like old white man who really didn't give a shit. But in order for them to actually continue the Premier League, because people would actually care about what they say, and if they didn't say nothing, it would affect them negatively. I feel like they've put out that statement. Guess what? I don't care that they put it out for that reason, because as long as it's out there, and it's gonna make a difference. So that's I'm more looking at the end goal rather than, oh, they're doing it because of this. I manage to stop being negative.
I do feel like there are a lot of people that are just following trends.
100%.
But
No, they are.
in the grand scheme of things, I don't really care because it's still spreading awareness.
Thank you.
In that manner,
if it gets, you know, I'll be real. I see some people on the day of the, you know, Blackout Tuesday thing.
Yeah, that thing.
There was a bit interesting because basically my thing was, if you're just gonna put that up there, but you don't even know what happened for starters because you ain't even read the news.
Yeah.
You're not doing no research or nothing like that. So that one there was a bit like, okay, whatever. But it was the ones after that where people started clearly having time to look up what was going on.
Yeah.
And then they was like actually being affected by it, and then they would start putting information back out into the world. And that's when I was like, those people who've taken it further than that Blackout Tuesday. 'Cause I see people the next day of Blackout Tuesday uploading half indecent pictures and all this, just back to normal selfies. Oh, everyone look at me.
See
everyone
racist
love
people
me, so-
posting the whole Blackout. Well, not I say people that have been racist in the past. It might have changed. I don't know. But you see people that have been racist, i.e., I'm not gonna name names, but posting things in it, and I'm just like, hold on,
We
been
know what
racist
you're
in the
like,
past,
yeah.
but like. That's why I had a bit of a problem with it, because I feel like some people using it to blend in. I would have rather had seen
100%.
a big Blackout Tuesday GoFundMe page where everybody's donating £1.
Then you know who's real.
Correct.
That's
because
it.
was, I think...
Because you're not going to donate to a cause that you don't believe in.
You don't believe
You'll
in.
slap an Instagram
That's the
post, because
thing.
that didn't cost nothing. That
Don't
ain't
mean nothing.
What's that?
I feel like the easy way out.
Exactly. When you
Easy
got
way
to part
out.
ways your money, you can see people... That's when you see the realness.
Yeah.
Because I looked at it and I think there was like 19 million
Post for it.
posts.
Yeah.
If everyone posted... If everyone
£1.
donated
Yeah, no, of course.
£1,
Yeah, of
that's
course.
19 million going back to the black community.
of course.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I had a bit of an issue with it, because throughout the whole thing, I was signing petitions, donating money, and I'm like, you got people that might not have done half of that, just posting a Blackout Tuesday thing.
Yeah.
It's actually the easy way out, man. They see all his famous
that's-
celebrities doing it.
Like, I get that.
And all it is a post. A
That's
black
it. Bruv,
screen,
what
bruv.
is it really?
What is it doing?
Like, I respect, don't get me wrong, respect it, cool. But at the same time, it's got to be more than that,
It
bro.
could have done
And
a lot more.
it's funny because the same day where the Black Hat Tuesday thing happened, I think I see a lot of these captions, and a lot of them weren't even like relevant. And I was looking at these captions, it's like, bro, for you to put the Blackout Tuesday, and if you really know what's going on, like, without you doing any research, you just slap the caption up there.
Yeah.
You're putting All Lives Matter, because half the people didn't even know that All Lives Matter was actually offensive.
Yeah.
So you get all these people like, oh,
All lives matter.
stop killing black people, All Lives Matter. And I'm just like, bro, that's a bit of a contradiction. Do you understand? So for me, like, you've just put it up there just to put it up there because everybody else is doing it. Because if you actually knew what was going on, your caption,
All Lives Matter a bit.
your caption would say something that about an experience. Like, I've seen loads of white people that's putting up stuff talking about experiencing white privilege and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I respected that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people putting up captions that was copy and pasted, like even that copy and pasted one that was going around. Like, obviously respect again, but at the same time, I chose not to copy and paste the message and do my own message because I thought I want to talk about myself, innit?
The one that goes, I'm a black man and this and that.
Yeah, and the way it's what for me, it was like kind of like the message was like a, well, I can't remember when they call it, but like, it weren't even that positive of a message. We should stop bringing each other down. Like, I don't want to focus on the fact that we've brought ourselves down in the past. And just focus on the fact that we're gonna bring each other up.
That's an interesting thing. And I think we was talking about it.
Yeah.
See, after the protest and that, we went to one protest, obviously, in Reading. You was there, innit?
Yeah, I
was all there.
Yeah.
And it become more of a venting session as opposed to making change, innit? And that's when we was like, do you know what? This kind of stuff we've been talking about since we were like, 10 years old. So we actually at the stage now, we want to actually make change. As opposed to just sitting there venting, innit? Because venting will only take you so far.
That's it.
But like, change is what's really needed now, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah, bro, I feel the same. When I was at that matter thing, like, do you know what it is? It's all one of them ones. I look at a situation that I feel like personally, because of the research that I've done and the amount of time I spend actually looking into this stuff, I do feel like I'm on a certain level where I can analyze what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So I'll be looking at stuff that people have done, and I'm picking out the people who I feel actually know what they're talking about, and you know, and actually could probably do something for us.
You can sort of see through it when people are saying certain stuff and you've done your own research.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and then you hear some of these speeches, and it's like you kind of want to say, "Oh, well done for getting up and talking," but when they're just talking rubbish, bro, like it's like you're not even helping.
And we're not
the movement, bro. Like you're not actually helping. You're not helping at all, bro.
And again, we're not disrespecting anyone.
No
we're just saying
disrespect
like it become more of a venting session as opposed to making change, which leads on actually to one thing we've actually got in plan, innit? Moving forward, obviously talking about the business corner, etc. Obviously we've got 4 corners, but one thing we're going to be looking to doing is holding a lot of regular events in a local area to sort of bring people together, allow them to network, you know, bring the small local businesses, even try and get some large organizations down, even investors. To, you know, you might be someone who's got an idea but don't have the resources to make it happen. We're trying to bridge that gap and allow people to rub shoulders with people that can make it happen. And even if you're a small business and you want to accelerate it, you know what I mean, then people are there.
But you, man, something I got a problem with though.
Yeah.
What's that? What's your problem?
See, there's man calling other man out. Like, let's say if I'm on Twitter, let's say you might be doing all the donating, you know what I mean, doing your research, actually taking action, but you might not be posting about it on social media.
Yeah.
I can't now come out and be like, Kensley, why are you not posting on social media? You know why? Because I feel that's a bit mad, innit? Because I'm thinking, like, why are you worried about what someone else is doing? Like, worry about what you're doing. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, if you're worried about what you're doing, you wouldn't be worried about what Kensley is doing. Because Kensley might be doing his part. You get what I'm trying to say? But he might not just boast about it on social media.
But that shows, again, that shows, I feel like that shows an insecurity, innit? If you're sat there, your main focus is worrying about what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Are you really doing enough yourself?
That's what I'm saying.
Your energy will be focused on that.
Because if you're doing enough, brother, I'm not worried about what you're doing, Kenzie. I'm worried about, like, what impact am I making? You know what I mean? And if you're making an impact, that's good. If both of us are making an impact, that's good. But I'm not going to call you out on social media just because you're not posting it on that platform.
One thing I will say, just to counteract that, was like, I think it's important to know who you're around at the same time. Because I'll say, obviously, my girlfriend now, she posted, obviously, and she was really shooken up by the whole thing. And she did what I did. She went to look into all of, like, police brutality, all this and that. And she be chilling with some white people and that. And a few of them was, like, posting. And then there was just one person who, like, didn't post nothing, didn't say nothing, didn't do nothing. And it made her question how she really felt about the situation. Because as a person like us, who might suffer from these sort of things, you'd want the people around you who are close to you, who say that they love you and all this and that, to fight for what you're fighting for. Do you know what I mean? If things are going on in the world, and I'm not necessarily saying it's got to be on social media, I'm not saying, but we are in the age of technology and them things there, and social media, like, that is a thing right now. So, but the girl didn't, like, nothing was mentioned, nothing was put on, nothing. Like, it was kind of like, who am I really around right now? Do you know what I mean? It kind of made you feel like.
How did she go to that girl?
Yeah, obviously she just private messaged because she couldn't hold it down because she was so emotional that day. and she didn't really get the answers that she was looking for. Do you understand? So it's like, it was almost kind of like a bad thing where it was like, she was like, oh yeah, no, it's kind of bad, yeah. But it almost felt like, because I said something is why you're now saying, oh yeah, it was kind of bad.
Are they still cool? Or?
Yeah, well, they're cool still. They're cool still because you have to be cool with certain people. You have to be cool with certain people.
Don't care about something unless it's close to home.
Exactly, but when you feel so strongly about something, like genuinely strong about it,
you don't even the same wavelength for you.
You might not necessarily want to move with people who just don't give a shit about it. Basically,
I hear what you're saying, but I feel like that's a catch-22, innit? Because there's certain shit that you might feel strongly about. I don't really care
that
about
person,
but I don't mean we can't still be friends.
But that person weren't in the background doing all that, so that's fine if they were, but they actually weren't. So what?
When it comes to your race and injustices,
you can't just sit back and do
it.
No, but I hear you.
Yeah, like
because they're white, yeah, they might not understand. Do you get some white people, yeah, they might not understand from our point of view. Because
but that's why you educate yourself.
In age and information, you think it's not.
It's important, bro.
I think in 2020, age and information, there's no